Hi, I am a digital marketing assistant from SmartThoughts. Today, we're digging into a skill that gets so overlooked, but honestly, it might be the most powerful one you have. And no, it's not about software or some new productivity trend. It's much more human than that.
I mean, really think about it. You send a message to a colleague, someone you've worked with, maybe even someone you consider a friend, and you get crickets. Not even a quick, "Hey, swamped right now, but I'll get back to you." Just silence. That feeling? That's exactly where we're starting today.
So all of this comes from a really thoughtful personal essay by Chad Stewart. Now, you might know Chad from his work in the association tech world. The guy has spent 25 years in the trenches with over 200 software projects under his belt. But this isn't his usual tech analysis. This one is really personal.
At the heart of his entire philosophy, there's this one simple phrase. A phrase that has literally guided his entire professional life. It sounds simple, but stick with us, because its impact is huge.
That's it. For 25 years, almost every single email, every conversation has ended with that line. And he makes it really clear this wasn't some strategy he learned in a seminar. It came from a genuine belief that we're all here to help each other out. He actually means it every time.
Okay, so it's a nice idea, right? But what are the real-world results of living by that? And maybe more to the point, what's the cost when we don't, when we just let those messages slide? And this is where it gets really practical. Just look at the math here. The investment is tiny. 10 seconds to write back. 5 seconds to say congrats on a new job. It feels like nothing in the moment. But you do that over and over for years? That's not just a small habit. That is your reputation. It's how trust is built.
And the flip side of that is what Chad calls a relational account. Just picture a bank account you have with every single professional contact. Every time you respond, you make a deposit. But every ignored message, that's a quiet little withdrawal. And those withdrawals, they add up over time, draining the goodwill you worked so hard to build.
It all leads to this really strange situation we find ourselves in. We've got all these incredible tools designed to connect us, but in a way, they've made it easier than ever to just disconnect, to just disappear on people. You see, the friction that used to force us to be accountable has been totally engineered away. Think about it. A ringing telephone demanded an answer. A physical letter on your desk practically begged for a reply. But a notification on your screen? It's so easy to just swipe it away. We traded that friction for convenience. And in the process, we kind of lost our sense of obligation to each other.
So where does this deep commitment to showing up for people come from? Well, for Chad, it's not just about being a smart business person. It's actually rooted in something much deeper. He grounds his entire approach in his faith. You know, the golden rule, treat others the way you want to be treated. And he's really quick to point out that this isn't some soft skill. He says it's the most durable, rock-solid competitive advantage he's ever seen, because it's based on how people actually work, not some passing trend.
And this really comes to life when he talks about his kids who are heading off to college. He says he's not worried about them learning the right software. The one thing he really hopes he's taught them is this idea of presence. Just show up, respond, cheer for other people's wins, and always leave the door open. So you might be listening to all this and thinking, okay, that's a nice life philosophy, but what does it have to do with my association's technology? Well, the connection is incredibly direct. It comes down to one simple distinction.
Chad has this great Texas saying, when the horns pierce the skin. It's that moment of truth after you've signed the contract, when the promises have to become reality. And if your new vendor suddenly goes silent, that's not a software failure. That is a people failure. It's a failure of character.
And here's the key insight. These people failures are almost always predictable. The warning signs are there from the beginning, if you're paying attention. How responsive are they? How do they treat you before you sign? It's a powerful reminder to evaluate the people behind the platform, not just the code itself. And all of this brings us full circle, right back to a very personal question. It's a choice about the kind of professional and really the kind of person you want to be.
When it's all said and done, what do you want your legacy to be? Do you want to be known as the smartest person in the room? The one who had all the brilliant ideas? Or do you want to be known as the one who was always there? The one everybody knew they could count on no matter what?
So, if you're in the middle of choosing a technology partner and you want to make sure you're getting the people part right, Chad actually created a tool for this. It's designed to help you spot those people failure warning signs early on. You can check out the free partnership prenup assessment over at smartthoughts.net/partnership-prenup-assessment.